Oh wait. Well, beverage check. I heard that crack.
I got a La Colombe coffee, Karsten Rundquist.
Triple latte. Nice.
Triple. You know how much caffeine's in this? A lot.
A lot. Though that's the coffee that that we got catered on a dirtbag. And I really enjoyed it.
stuff.
A lot of people didn't, but I was like, I think it's good.
They're wrong.
They're wrong. Exactly.
You are right, Karsten. See, I try to pump you up. What I do is I say, Karsten is always right, and anyone who doubts him is always wrong.
And that's the truth. That's the truth.
That's the truth.
Now,
we're both saying it, and we have a podcast.
Let's find out if Jeff is right or wrong after this trivia question. Which mammal doesn't have vocal cords? Which mammal?
Mammal doesn't have vocal
have
cords?
vocal cords. Yeah.
Is it like a type of animal or like a very specific animal? By type I mean like dog. Obviously, the answer is not dog, but
I would say it's just a specific animal. Yeah. Well, no. Actually, no. Just type of animal. I don't think there are specific types of this animal. If that's a hint.
That's not a hint.
Okay. Well, it's just the animal.
Platypus.
It is giraffe. It's a giraffe.
It's a giraffe?
Answer that might surprise some people.
I'm just saying that. Have you ever heard a platypus make noise?
Well, actually, yes, on Phineas and Ferb, which I think is past your time. I think it's just past the platypus in the show goes like,
yeah,
and I think that's the noise they make. Now, I'm just saying, all that neck and they couldn't fit a vocal cord in there is what I'm gonna say about giraffes.
That's a great point. Honestly, we should boycott them. I mean, they're not going to say anything about it.
Right.
Because they don't have vocal cords.
They can't say a thing. So yeah, that is. I was like, I don't think he's gonna get this one. I would not get this one.
Yeah, I did not.
Yeah.
That would have been my 100th guess.
This giraffe.
Yeah, I was not in the vicinity of giraffe.
Well, speaking of losing, today. Well, at this point in time,
you have World Cup fever. That's what
I got. The World Cup
kind of stopped
fever.
that last time.
Yes. Well, and there's a couple sad updates, I would say.
Well, first of all, the U.S. Lost.
Yes, that was the big sad update, I would say, for us at least.
Yeah, it was. I mean, very exhilarating for some people, like Dutch people.
Like, the thing is, though, it was the kind of game where it was like, at a certain point, you're just like, yeah, I guess Netherlands deserved that. And that's what I've kind of been telling people, is that I feel like we made it about as far as we could have gone. You know? We weren't that good of a team.
The thing is, the U.S. was severely outcoached. I really am not a fan of the coach of the U.S. team.
Yeah.
I think
bad things.
that he dresses like a 16-year-old from Gary, Indiana.
He does. He is such a Gary, Indiana guy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's bad. But also, he's not tactically astute. I would say the U.S. got very outcoached in that game. They kind of played right into the Netherlands' hands.
Yeah.
I guess feet, since you can't use your hands.
Right. If we played it into their hands, it may be a different game, because that would have been
that would have been a handball.
penalty.
We would have gotten a penalty if it was in the box.
Yeah.
But Canada also lost before us. They didn't even get a single point in their group. So
Yeah.
who's the real loser? And Mexico also didn't qualify, so we're the best in North America.
That is true. Yeah. We did pretty well for North America.
Take that.
We're the first, I think, whole continent to get eliminated, I think. As of today, Asia's out.
Technically we got eliminated hours before Australia.
Right,
which is a continent.
That-
it's the only one there,
But-
and they still lasted longer than us technically because our game was first, but it was the same round.
same round, and Asia today, and probably Africa tomorrow. Because I don't think Morocco's going to beat Spain. Spain is my new kind of team moving forward. I'm attached.
So you're
to
a
them.
bandwagoner.
No, so I was no. The thing is, I just started paying attention to the World Cup this year, and my very first Spain game that I watched, something clicked, and I really fell in love with that team.
They do a lot of passing.
They do a lot of passing. They know what they're doing. They are a confident, quick team. They're not like Brazil or France, which
they are.
piss me off. No, they're not. No, they're not.
They absolutely are.
I don't think it's as much of a given with Spain. They play it. They're not as good.
They're in the same tier. If you're going tiers,
Okay.
they're there.
Well, then I'm rooting for them. You know.
I would say they're probably the number 3 favorite behind those two.
So that's the thing, right? They're good, but they're still kind of the underdog. If they're
not
it
the
that
underdog.
far. Well, if they go up against France, then they're the underdog. You know what I mean?
like a 60-40 underdog, not like a, like a
Not
Rocky
like a-
versus that Russian guy.
Yeah. Hey, movie reference for the
Yeah.
podcast. The first movie thing we talked about today. So yeah. Okay, I guess they're not the underdog, but I am rooting for them because who else is there to root
but
for?
if you were
really?
gonna bandwagon, why you spent a bunch of time in France? You could have totally been like, "Hey,
I
I
know.
love the French.
I usually am
I'm
so
Karsten. Bonjour.
Well, bonjour, ça va?
C'est va?
Are you pro France in this situation? Like, who are you rooting for?
I
Like, now that the US is
honestly,
out, or you don't care.
yeah, I don't care. I just like watching.
Okay.
It's kind of like Formula One, where it's more about the drama than who wins.
Yeah.
Like almost a lot of people do not care who wins in Formula One. It's just about you watch the like documentary, and then there's just a bunch of drama, and you watch people yell at each other.
Okay. See, I was just informed today of the drama surrounding Neymar, who I did not know much about, and now I'm like, okay, so that's why I'm against Brazil.
What was the drama?
Well, apparently he has like looming sexual assault allegations, and according to my friend of the pod, Nick, he hangs out with like the Trump equivalent in Brazil. I don't
You're
entirely.
talking about Bolsonaro?
I guess so. I'm not smart with this stuff. I don't know who this is.
Yeah, they're okay. Yeah, I was gonna take it. We were gonna take a turn in this podcast, but we probably don't need to talk about Brazilian politics.
I mean, we could get into it, but I've been pro Brazil, and then all my friends are like, "Don't be pro Brazil," and I'm like, "Fine, I'll be." I always was pro Spain, so I'm gonna be pro Spain, and that's where I stand on that. Here's the thing: the one thing I will say, and the only time I'm pro France is in the next game where they go against England because I want to see England lose because I think they're an annoying
That's fair.
team. There's something about them I don't like. And that's my last World Cup thing for now. So glad we got that out of our systems. Jeff, how's your week been?
You know, it's been all right.
Yeah.
I was recently, in Austin, Texas, where we recorded
back
the
home?
last episode. We skipped a week just chilling because I was driving back. And, yeah, it was a good trip.
Yeah.
Had a lot of barbecue.
Nice. That's good.
Which is like, for those who don't know, that's like what Austin, Texas is famous for.
Yes.
So I had some of the top tier ones, like Franklin's.
Oh, man. I'm jealous. Yeah.
You should be.
That's a good Thanksgiving food, too. I
Well,
would say.
we
unless
also had turkey, but it was from a barbecue place. My brother found that one of the barbecue places did a smoked turkey.
That's
But we also had regular barbecue, like brisket, pork,
nice.
pulled pork.
Nice. Wow, you better than Famous Dave's. This barbecue.
I don't even know what Famous Dave's is.
What? You don't know Famous Dave's?
He's
it's in
clearly not that famous.
It's unpopular Dave.
Yeah. Well, in like the Southeast, we have Sonny's.
Okay.
So you probably don't know about that.
No, I have no idea what Sonny's is.
It's kind of like if you took good barbecue and then just let it dry in the sun for a few days.
That doesn't sound
and then had
that
sauce
good.
that was actually good to cover
Yeah.
up the fact that the meat isn't very good.
Okay. That's fun. Also can confirm Famous Dave's is just a Midwestern thing that is mostly based in Wisconsin and Minnesota, so that
Yeah.
makes sense. They
Famous Dave.
Famous Dave's clearly not famous
Yeah.
at all.
If you are in Chicago, there's one very good barbecue place.
I know
Green
what you're
Street
talking
Meats.
about. This is where you went when you were here last time, right? You and Nick or something?
No.
Or no, that was. I thought you went. You went somewhere.
No, we went to a different one.
Okay,
That place is
that's-
pretty good. Green
okay.
Street Meats is like top tier. The one we went to was like the next one. I forget what it was called. It was.
Damn.
It was pretty good though.
Yeah. Okay. Damn.
Some
you just
pig
frequent barbecue spots.
Yeah, big barbecue guy.
I shaved my mustache this week. As you
Oh,
can
that was
see,
your big news.
I guess. Yeah. I'm really. I mean, you saw. I went pretty far with it. It was definitely my favorite mustache I've grown.
Yeah, it was kind of
And-
like a John Waters, but crossed with like a less off-putting
Less
thinness.
creepy. Yeah. It was
Yeah.
pretty. It was thick, sort of. Yeah, I really liked it, but it was starting to irritate me, and I did like trim it, and I did everything I could, but it was starting to get a little irritating, and
Yeah,
so
I'm gonna probably shave today. I could have done it
Yeah.
before the podcast
because
because this is just like I didn't shave for a while.
right. I mean, the thing is, I'm so jealous because you can connect the mustache to the beard, which is something I
Barely.
want to do.
Barely. You're giving me way too much credit here. Look, this is like it's like the least connected thing that is technically connected. It's
Hey,
not.
It's a
But
connection.
this side-
I guess
this side
that
doesn't
isn't-
connect.
Yeah, that's not
It's
connected.
worse. Look, what is this? You actually are now going to take back saying you're jealous of this.
Well,
because this is not good.
I would rather have that than what I have, which is just I can do the what's it called, the chops, and then
The mutton chops.
mutton chops.
See,
yeah.
I can't grow sideburns. That's the thing. This doesn't connect because I can't grow anything here.
But that's fine in my
This
opinion.
I can't even grow stuff here. Look, there's nothing here. It's just longer hair. There's nothing here.
Yeah. See, I wish I had that kind of facial hair over what I got going on because this is just weird. This is just like weird guy in the woods facial
guy
hair.
in the woods.
Yeah. But anyway,
Just go to your barber and ask for the weird guy.
you know the weird guy in the woods look.
Yeah, like you
Going
know,
for that.
I just want to be a little weird and kind of maybe like woods adjacent.
Give me something strange.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, I guess speaking of strange and weird,
This
I don't know.
the movie this week
week is
is
wacky and
wacky
bizarre.
and weird and strange.
Yeah. This week we're talking about Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. Wait, what?
Did we talk about this movie already? Is my question.
we talked about it on the TIFF podcast, but not as a full episode.
Are you sure?
I'm-
'Cause
I'm
having like
mostly sure. Crazy
know,
deja vu.
like yeah.
Wait, let me. That
Like,
would
did
be
we do
so.
this?
Because we planned this and everything. We were like, okay, we'll do Glass Onion next week.
And then when we planned it, I was like, did we do it? And I forgot to actually look.
No, we haven't done this. We have not done this. Because
When did we talk about it?
just on the Toronto, we did it on the Toronto episode. We did it on the Intercut recap. But this is the first. We're doing the full thing, and it makes sense why now we would do the first full thing because it just had its theater run this last week. And
Yeah.
I'm looking at this, and what is it? Apparently, it's going to open up into more theaters, maybe. Oh no,
Oh,
but he wants the third one to open up more. Never mind. Never mind. I was gonna say that would really.
I was
trick
wondering if
people out.
Netflix was gonna do a switcheroo.
Well, so that's the thing is it was only out if you're uninformed. It was only out for a week this last week, for theaters, and then it's gonna go full release online December 23rd or something like that.
So
just in time
we
for
really
Christmas.
are recording this in the least like on topic
Well, we're so
circumstances. It's a movie that if you did not, you either saw it in the last week or
Yes.
you can't see this for weeks.
yes. My light just
Okay.
whoa.
So probably a no spoiler.
No, we'll keep. Why is my light going out?
Yeah, your light is going crazy. It looks like you're in like some kind of horror film.
Oh my god, what is happening?
Just remember, if a hand reaches through your screen, don't grab it.
Okay, I think it's fine now. That was so. This was Netflix being like, "Don't spoil it," messing with my electricity. So yeah, we will not spoil it. The thing is, and this is kind of off topic. What were you gonna say? I thought you were gonna say something.
Oh, I was just gonna say. Well, you said something off that was gonna be off topic, right?
Yeah.
Because my thing was gonna be on topic, so maybe you should go first.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say that it's kind of. I think it's kind of genius releasing, even though it's very frustrating because I wish it was out longer. But I think they're doing this so that the diehard fans see it in this limited run, and people feel like they need to see it in theaters because there's like this urgent deadline. And it's the kind of movie where you're going to want to rewatch it. So all the people that did see it in theaters will probably want to rewatch it on Netflix when it comes out in December. And that's my theory of why they did this, which is likely the truth because they're really just like pushing this movie. They want it to be a big deal, which it probably will be.
Deal.
I mean, yeah.
We saw the. Did we see the same screening in TIFF?
Yes, I remember because we sat separately.
Yeah, was this the one where you were in the last?
No, that was Bros. That was
Bros. Right.
But this one, I could see you like across the theater, and we like waved at each other.
Yeah, it was the second ever screening.
Yes, which feels pretty special.
The day after the world premiere.
Yep. And you got to see the Q&A.
Yeah, and you had to rush out.
I dashed out, yeah.
Because you hated the film so much.
Right.
That you had to run outside to throw up.
The theater. Yeah, to vomit all over the streets.
Now, speaking of someone who probably vomited after the film, Daniel Craig at the Q&A was so hungover.
Yeah. Which is so funny. Because he seems like such a well put together guy, like a very like... But to see him in that state must be so
Ed Norton
funny.
had to answer all the questions for him. Because Daniel Craig started answering a question, and then halfway through, he like looked around and forgot what he was saying.
That's so funny. I feel like he can get away with it of all celebrities.
No, he still seemed cool.
He's allowed to do whatever he wants. Yeah, he's cool. Yeah, we saw the second ever screening of this, which, it just felt crazy because, like, of all the movies... Like, I felt really lucky because I'm like, this really is one that I want to know, like, nothing going into it. And we got pretty much exactly what we could have out of that, you know?
Yeah, imagine someone spoiled it in the literal one day after the world premiere.
I know. Well, that's what I was like. There are people that have so much power right now to, like, ruin this movie.
And we're one of them. Two of them. We're two of them.
At this point, we're pretty safe because I feel like the thing is, like, if you were excited to see this movie, I'm assuming, like, you probably saw it over Thanksgiving. Because, like, yeah. Also,
you know what they say out of assuming? About assuming.
What do they say?
Stop it.
Just, yep. So yeah, anyway, I just danced around the synopsis. This doesn't spoil anything. But if you do want to
imagine if a synopsis spoiled the film. Like you just go like, "Oh, I wonder what this is about." And then you read it and it's like, "Here's all the answers to the questions."
The synopsis this is directed by Rian Johnson, who did the first one.
I still don't understand the spelling.
I know. Rian.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Is that like Irish or something?
I don't know. Yeah. I've never questioned it. I didn't know also that his cousin or brother, someone related to him, did the music, so that's cool.
Is it Jack Johnson?
It is not
the
Jack.
Banana pancakes guy?
I'm like, oh, it is. It is. He is it's Nathan Johnson. Not as fun.
No, is he the guy who did the hot dogs?
Nathan's
famous hot dogs that Joey Chestnut cranks down 70 of those.
Nathan's famous hot dogs.
4th of July.
Way more famous than Famous Dave's. I'll say
way
that.
more. It's international.
Yeah.
Famous Dave is barely even interstate.
Right. if they called it World Famous Dave's, I would sue the company or something.
Well, actually, there is something called puffery, which is a law where you're allowed to make outrageous marketing claims if it's something that is, I don't know the exact definition, but calling something world famous is like a classic example of puffery.
I feel
so
like
you can call yourself the world famous Carson Runquist. Well, the thing is, you actually are.
Well, I was like, we could technically do that for the podcast because we have listeners overseas, you know.
Yeah, well,
we're world famous.
We're world famous.
Yeah. Toronto. We went to TIFF.
We went to TIFF.
Synopsis reads,
That was fun.
Tech billionaire Miles Braun invites his friends for a getaway on his private Greek island. When someone turns up dead, Detective Benoit Blanc is put on the case. That's it. It's very... I mean, what else did you expect? Like, it's a whodunit.
Yeah. It's a whodunit. They're not going to tell you anything else.
Right.
They're not going to tell you whoddunit
in
the synopsis.
I just watched Clue for the first time, and that is like the funniest whodunit movie. I haven't seen a lot of them. It. Oh my god, it's so... I think you would love it, Jeff. We should... It's not a bad idea for an episode. It's so funny.
I'd be down.
This is what's something interesting about it is it's just Daniel Craig returning. None of the old cast is coming back because it's like a different case. But I will say I thought maybe like the other detectives, like Lakeith Stanfield's character would come back, who I loved.
He was great in the first film.
Yeah, he was so... Him like next to Daniel Craig was such a good really comedic pair. I was kind of bummed he wasn't coming back.
Yeah, he was like a very good straight man for Daniel Craig's kind of weird guy.
Yeah, and I feel like that's, I guess, before we aren't going to spoil it, but I guess, an easy thing
were you going to say, before we spoil it?
Before we spoil who did it, comparing it to the first one, I thought, now that I've seen this, I actually just rewatched this last week in theaters, which also, let me say, I don't think, the thing about seeing movies at TIFF is it's never going to be better than that experience. Because, like, seeing this in the second screening ever with, like, a packed, very enthused audience did not live up to, like, a 7:30 at night Chicago, which was also pretty packed.
Yeah.
But, like, people were not laughing, which was insane. I was like, the movie specifically has these, like, pockets after, like, clearly comedic lines where it's meant for audience laughter, and it was just really awkward when like nobody laughed. Which is also why I'm like, it does not make sense that this is a Netflix movie.
And I know we touched on this last time we talked about the film, but there is one specific joke.
Yes,
that is one of the better jokes I've heard in any film. In terms of a joke that has it's an almost conventional joke with like a punchline.
I'm trying to remember which. Is it Sweat?
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. All right. That's all I needed. Yes. That's like one of the funniest jokes in the movie, and it bombed at my second screening. And I was like, that is strange, because like maybe this was just the wrong crowd, but
who did you see this with?
I saw it with Miles and Cookie, both of whom were laughing consistently. They did not like it as much as I did, but like, the people around us just weren't really feeling it, which is, I guess, fine. It just made it certainly does like make the movie not as much of a blast. I'll say that, because it was a really good time when we saw it at TIFF, and this was like whatever. But anyway, moving past that,
we should have our own film festival.
I know. Yeah.
Where in addition to curating the films, we curate the audience.
Yeah. It's an invite-only situation. Yeah.
It's really not a festival. It's more of just like we invite
friends
people
together.
Yeah. And we watch Flubber.
Like nonstop all day.
Yeah. What about a film festival where it's just the films with the funniest names?
Flubber, Kangaroo Jack. That's a pretty funny name. Yeah, Mr. Popper's Penguins.
I was gonna say that, and I was like, "Nah,
Don't say that.
Yeah,
it's bait." Did I tell you about my video idea that I want to do, that I'm really kind of excited about but dreading?
Tell me.
now don't nobody steal this, but I'm gonna do it pretty soon. I'm gonna spend all day in a movie theater and go to the first 10 a.m. screening and stay until the last 11 p.m. screening.
Are you gonna do it with someone?
No, just myself.
That sounds lonely.
Oh, it's gonna be horrible, I think, but I think it'll be a really fun video.
Yeah,
because the theater staff will like get to know me at a certain point and be like, "There's that fucking guy again."
Well, you know what would be the funniest part of it is if you get there, and you have a video of you like buying the tickets, and you buy all the tickets at once.
Yeah. Oh Jesus. Well,
imagine the look on their face when you buy like 20 consecutive tickets.
Yeah.
Okay, not 20, but it's gonna be like how many movies is that gonna be? Like 6?
I don't know. Yeah, it can't be that many. Like, because they last a while. So, like the Fablemans will still be in screenings, and that's like a 3-hour movie,
also,
so I can fill up time there.
How many of these films are you gonna have already seen?
I'm going to have to not only watch a movie I've already seen, but I'm going to have to maybe watch it twice in one day. Because the goal of the video is to spend as least amount of time not watching a movie as possible. So if a screening lines up where I have to just go back into the same movie afterward.
Or, you know what? If you're doing this soon, you might just be able to watch Black Panther 5 times in a row.
That's what... Well, so that... When I looked at the screenings, like for this week, it's pretty much going to be Black Panther all day. Or like, there's this movie called
the phrase "Black Panther all day."
That's the third movie, Black Panther all day, Wakanda Forever, and there's this movie called Violent Night. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Okay, that actually looks like it would be fun to see in the theater.
Well, I might have to see it multiple times because it has so many screenings at the theater I would do this at. So. It'll be an interesting video, and I'm really excited. I'd have to like live on the theater food for my meals that day. Like, it's gonna be crazy. Anyway, the glass.
Well, how about recording? Like, are you gonna have to, okay you being able to record yourself?
I can't record myself in the movie, obviously, but recording just on my phone.
Before the film, you probably
yeah.
Like,
I mean, that's
just on your phone, and you're in your seat.
Yeah, I wouldn't bring in like a big camera or anything. It would just be on my phone, and kind of just narrate over it. Anyway,
sounds like you got it all figured out.
Yeah, I'm just like I just got to pick a day. I'm just like looking at screenings at all these theaters and being like, which one looks the worst or.
The new direction of your channel is you just have a bad day for videos.
Yeah. That's I've done that a few times now with watching all the
Noah
Twilight.
Centineo.
Noah Centineo and the Air Bud one.
Did the Air Bud one is insane to me.
Yeah.
Did it flop as a video?
That one is insane just because it did flop. And throughout it I was like, at least this will do well.
Yeah.
And then it didn't do well.
Did you watch any of the Air Buddies?
No, but that was going to be I was going to make it a trilogy, and Air Buddies was going to be part 2.
Because wasn't Air Buddies the one where like they kept killing the dogs on accident?
I would not be surprised.
Yeah, I thought I read something like how a bunch of the dogs kept dying.
Yeah.
When they were trying to make Air Buddies.
Well,
that could be wrong. That's just speculation on my part.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is that, like, the deeper into this I go and the more niche, like, because there's the Air Buddies, which is a step below on the iceberg. And then there's the fucking, like, Pup Star and Monkey Up and, like, Most Valuable Primate films that are non-dog, but... Mm-hmm. And then that's
Most Valuable Primate is a solid film.
That's one of their better movies. Now, as someone who has seen a lot of the movies, that's one of their better ones.
The only thing I had wrong, or I had like an issue with, in MVP, Most Valuable Primate, was how they expected me as an audience member to believe that they replaced a chimpanzee with a small girl, and nobody noticed for an entire period of hockey.
Yeah. It would be the fur or something. catch it pretty fast.
I would look at their face. I would also realize that they weren't skating like a chimpanzee who has legs that aren't meant to be doing skating motions.
No. Yeah. I will say, of all the movies, though, that's the thing, is Most Valuable Primate does make the most sense. It's like a pretty good chimpanzee would probably be able to play sports, you know?
Not the thing is that I would say ice hockey is one of the least likely sports.
Yeah. Basketball was taken, though.
I mean, how about rock climbing?
Right.
I mean, although if that was the film, you would probably just have all the other competitors say, this is clearly unfair. They evolved to climb things.
Dude.
So they'd get disqualified.
That company, the Airbud Studios, should make like a Free Solo parody where it's like a monkey that climbs the mountain without a rope.
Yeah, although knowing that company, they would probably kill like 35 chimpanzees trying to make this film.
Right.
Based on my wild accusations about them killing puppies, which I probably should Google, so I'm not.
Allegedly, we'll say. Did Airbud actually kill the dogs?
Snow Buddies killed 5 puppies. Yeah. Yep. During Snow Buddies, 5 puppies were killed.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's like all the puppies.
Well, they actually purchased 25 puppies.
Dog.
To start the film, and I guess they had 30 dogs acquired from a different, so like 5 more additionally from the first purchase. 15 were on set, and 15 were showing signs of illness.
Oh my god. Dude, I might need to make this video.
This is crazy.
That's a lot spicier than the Airbud movies, I'll say that. Because they treated that original Airbud dog like a god, and like he was protected very close.
Yeah.
But I guess the Snow Buddies, fuck them. Like oh my god. Wow. Well, on that note, Glass Onion.
As far as I know, no puppies were killed on the set of Glass Onion.
No. I don't think there's any animals in this one, unless like one of the Kate Hudson's character at like the party or something. I I don't know how to transition from that.
Yeah. Speaking of dead puppies.
Yeah. Better
Edward
or
Norton.
worse than the first one?
I mean, it's
different.
The first one, I think, is a better, more original film, but this is a fun direction to take, Daniel Craig's character.
Yeah.
This is a very fun movie.
Very fun movie. Yeah.
I think the first one is a more interesting movie.
Something crazy is that this movie is like 2 hours and 20 minutes long, and it zooms by. Like, there's not one boring scene in this, which I think speaks to how tightly written the script is, how colorful all the characters are, and like, it's just that's kind of what I said in the video, is that I think this is or not video but podcast earlier, that I think this is a better mystery that I think keeps you a little bit more on edge and makes a very kind of convoluted plot and I don't know, crime seem very simple and easy to understand for the audience, which I think is something it has going for it. Whereas the first one is a pretty simple mystery, but they just keep it a bit. They managed to do a lot with a little, which this is the complete opposite, where it's like a shit ton of resources.
And it's the same basic concept of kind of showing the audience and introducing them to a variety of very specific characters.
Yeah.
And then just putting them all together and seeing what happens.
Yeah. The thing is, the first one felt a lot like it wasn't trying to do anything new or like outsmart the audience. It was just like someone died and he has to figure out who did it. And it just makes a really fun kind of modern version of that classic tale. And this was like This I like this a lot because it's like you think this is going on, and then it kind of turns it on its head a lot in a way that kind of makes sense. It doesn't feel like a cop out, which I don't know. Like they both have their ups and downs. Like, and I think this is ultimately maybe not as tight as the first one, but pretty entertaining. Like really entertaining.
Yeah, it's not as tight, but it's as tight.
Yeah. Right.
That's the kind of hip lingo you only get on a podcast run by two
hip,
young, chill, lit bros.
Yep,
that's
there.
us. We're
us.
lit as hell.
I just realized that I was gonna say two millennials, but I'm not a millennial.
No, I'm a millennial.
You're a millennial.
Oh, wait. So you were gonna say two millennials, but you were wrong. Not because you didn't know what I was, but because you didn't know what you yourself were.
Yep. I've had like a crisis about this a lot because I think I'm a millennial, but I'm on the cusp. Like 97 babies are like not full Gen Z and not full millennial, so I'm like kind of.
You can relate to both of us.
Yeah. No, I literally can't because I'm like I'm too old for TikTok, but I'm too young for whatever you guys got going on. I don't.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way.
AARP.
Yeah. Like I'm
getting discounts for being old.
Yeah. I really like this movie though. I will say I've seen it twice and I probably don't need to see it a third time, which is how I felt about the first one. I was like, after the second time, I was like, I'm pretty satisfied and this has no use anymore.
Yeah, that is the thing about films that have this element of a reveal.
Yeah.
Where when you know what it is, it makes it a lot less rewatchable. But obviously, that's just inherent in this type of film.
Yes. It's never going to be as fun as it is the first time, even though I did have a great time the second time. And it is cool to see the second time, like, how obvious everything is when you know what is going on. I was like, oh my God, all of this is so obvious. But that's, like, kind of the genius of it is you're like, you don't pick up on any of that on the first watch.
Did you ever just like nudge Cookie and be like, "Hey, pay attention to that"?
Yeah. Just so you know, that was a key moment right there. That was very important.
You said that to like the whole audience, which is why they didn't laugh at anything. They were just annoyed at you the whole time.
I like the idea of like one guy like shouting out in the middle of the movie, "He did it!" and like, yeah. I'm not saying it was a he. Could have been anybody. Anyway, that's... I feel like I don't want to drift too far into spoiler territory.
Yeah, because the thing about spoilers in this film is they don't do anything to help you analyze the film.
Yeah, there's not a lot to like gain from specifically naming the spoilers either. Like you can really get away with talking about it without talking about it.
Yeah, I mean, we got away with talking about whatever we sidetracked about for 25 minutes.
Yeah. About Air Buddy's tragic death of murders. 5 dogs. No, I mean,
that means 25 of them didn't die.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, that's
good rate, honestly.
What is that? 15%?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's like going into it, there's a 15% chance your dog dies.
Well, just to be clear, they didn't take the dogs from people.
No.
They got all the dogs in 2 lump sums from breeders. 5 were Canadian and 25 were American.
Oh, interesting. Man.
Which, you know what?
What are you going to say?
There's nothing interesting about that.
No.
My brain just doing like quick like loading, and I'm like, no.
Yeah. I guess my last thing about Glass Onion is that it is and we've already talked about this a little bit, and like everybody, this is kind of an exhausted thing to say, but like it definitely should have been in a theater.
A web series?
It should have been a web series. Yeah.
Everyone's been saying it.
Everybody's been saying just make it a show. Make it a TV show.
Make it a TV show with commercials.
Yeah.
Commercial breaks. That's because commercial breaks is how you have suspension.
Right. Yeah. Keep it on it. Oh my God. Can you imagine this with commercials? It shouldn't be in theaters or on Netflix. It should be on cable.
Exactly. Like weird. It needs built-in commercials that you have no way of avoiding.
Yeah. I think it should have been in theaters. Also, a lot of people are trashing this movie because it's so, like, it's very, like, came from a guy who spends time on Twitter, I guess, if that makes sense. Like, the way it's written is very modern lingo and, like, referencing, like, Elon Musk and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I can see why that might be irritating, but I think the movie pulls it off because I think it is pretty funny and not entirely cringy.
Yeah. That's kind of the complaint a lot of people have about you.
Yeah, that I talk about Elon Musk too much.
You're too online. You're just too with it. You're too happening.
I'm terminally online. Yeah.
You're terminally awesome.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
that's the problem people have.
My new
They don't
Twitter
want to
bio.
admit it. They don't want to admit it.
Terminally awesome. And that's what this movie is.
That's what this movie is. It's an amalgamation of everything that is Carson Rehnquist.
Yes, and if you don't like that,
if you don't like that, get off the internet.
You're not gonna like this movie. So that's that. Glass Onion, I gave it like a 4 out of 5.
I think I gave it a 4.5 because it's a good time.
It's a good time.
It's a good time.
What more do you want at the movies? Like, just chill out.
I mean,
have a good time.
The only thing I will say that you do want more at the movies is the ability to watch this at the movies for more than 1 week.
Yeah. That could have been a bit better.
Like, what more do you want at the movies? Oh, yeah, you can't see this at
more
the movies anymore.
Glass Onion, clearly. I will say, I thought it would be a fun idea to grab a beer at the theater bar before this and enjoy that while watching it. But when you drink, at least me, I gotta go pee. So I was trying to figure out where to leave the theater to go pee during this. Which
I would say you should have gone to the bathroom.
Well, I will say, like, there's not a lot of moments in this movie to go to the bathroom because you miss pretty much.
At least you'd already seen the film.
I know, but I was like, I want to see the. Yeah. Anyway.
I get what you're saying. Now, pro tip: pee in the popcorn.
Pee in the popcorn. Yes, and just say it's butter.
Say it's butter.
This comes out in December, and yeah, if you haven't seen it already, you should watch it.
I agree.
Yeah,
when it comes out, which is not
for another 2 weeks,
2.5 weeks. Yeah.
This next part of the podcast is the Q&A, which comes from the Carscast subreddit. Best place to go if you want to.
It's the best place to go if you want to. For something, it's probably the best place you can go. I don't know what that is, but
there's not a lot going on there because it flew too close to the sun with the memes and then erupted.
There was a period in time where we used to go on the subreddit a lot more.
Yeah,
and there was a few people who took it upon themselves to make probably, I would say, some of the worst memes ever, and not in quality but in content. Where there was a lot of face swapping, a lot of deep fakes of Carson and I.
It was a dark time.
It was a really dark time. It made me question a lot of things about myself.
Yeah. It was like, I'm honestly glad we're past that period. It was such a dark time in the Reddit's history. But right now, it is the best place to go if you want to ask us a question.
Besides being a patron.
Yeah, because if you're a $15 patron, you get your question answered in these episodes. Which, speaking of, let me just check. I don't think we have any $15 patron questions this episode. No, we do not. But yeah, these come from the Carscast subreddit, r/Carscast. This first one comes from, let's see, Cyhots9292, and it's, do you have any thoughts on the band Talking Heads? If so, what are them? And have you seen Stop Making Sense, and do you think there is a concert film that rivals it? I think you're a bigger Talking Heads fan than I am, Jeff.
So I'm not a huge Talking Heads fan. I don't listen to like all the albums, but This Must Be the Place is probably one of my top like 20 favorite songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I think they're a very interesting band.
Yeah, That's a good way of putting it. They're
I've only
definitely
seen
making the
clips
most
of Stop
interesting
Making
movies.
Sense. I've
Yeah.
seen some. I haven't watched the entire thing. I've just seen like certain songs
Yeah.
out of context.
Yeah.
The big suit.
The big suit.
I love the big suit.
It's crazy.
I want a big suit to wear to like a wedding.
Yeah.
I
Just to be
go
like
this with my shoulders.
and every time someone's like, "Do you like Talking Heads?" You're like, "Who's that?" And then,
Like, what are you talking about?
what are you talking about?
Are you making fun of me?
I'm not a huge Talking Heads fan either. I like them a lot. I like Once in a Lifetime is that song to me. That This Must Be the Place. Is that the one you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really good song.
It is.
I have seen Stop Making Sense, and it is a great concert film. And I have not seen enough concert films to say if there's anything that rivals it, because it's a pretty great time. So I can't. I think that might be the best one, and that's speaking from someone that does not know a lot of concert films. So take that with a grain of salt. But yeah, I like Talking Heads. Good band.
That's a good quote. You can use that.
Yeah, use that. I like
Talking Heads. Karsten Rundquist.
Llama Lloyd Jordy asks favorite Christmas snacks. A little bit ahead with that question, you know. Could have saved that one for Christmas, but
I'm gonna. Well, I need to know what to get before.
right.
Soft
I'm sorry,
gingerbread cookies are the number one.
That sounds
Like chewy
great.
gingerbread cookies are the absolute best cookie.
Yep. That sounds amazing. That's like a proper Christmas snack too. That's like Christmas.
Oh yeah, can't beat it.
Now this is I'm gonna assume not a widely enjoyed snack because I think it's a Karsten's mom exclusive, but she does like these pretzel sticks. You know those sticks that are like pretzels? They're like long like this.
Yeah.
She wraps them in like caramel and then rolls it around in like different chocolate chips, like peanut butter chocolate chip and milk chocolate chip, and then so it's like a bunch of chocolate chips with caramel and then a pretzel underneath, and you just bite it.
That sounds good.
It's amazing. It's so good.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be some weird like hot plate or whatever the hell you call those.
Yeah, it's a hot plate. The weird Minnesota Juicy Lucy.
Yeah,
cheese
Juicy
inside
Lu-
the patty. No, but it's got peppermint too because it's Christmas. And
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a Juicy Lucy, but instead of cheese in the middle, it's a candy cane.
Yeah. I do like candy canes a lot. The only thing is I always break them when I try to unwrap them. Like getting the plastic off the candy cane is like an art that
Now, do you like the peppermint ones, or do you like all the different flavored ones?
I just like the peppermint ones, to be honest. And then you can then you can suck it until it's like a knife, and then you can poke
and then you can
people with
ship
it.
someone,
Yeah. Those are favorite Christmas snacks. I also like. I always in my stocking, and I still get these are the chocolate Santas that are like the mold,
Right, yeah.
and they just give you like the worst stomach ache in the world. Yeah, those are.
I mean, they don't give me the worst stomach ache. Are you sure you don't have some kind of like allergy?
Well, it's like pure chocolate. It's just a big block of chocolate, and
Are you lactose intolerant? Maybe.
I think I'm slightly lactose intolerant.
That might be the problem
That might
there.
be the problem. Yeah, learn a lot about myself on this podcast. This last one, except we have time for two more, maybe. We have a lot of questions, so I figured this one comes from Educational Bowl 186. We've already answered this one a lot, but let's get some updated thoughts. Favorite season of the year?
It depends where I am.
Yeah.
And as we learned early on in the podcast, Karsten, the seasons are flipped when you're in the southern hemisphere.
Yep. One of the many things I learned on this pod stays with me till this day. Yeah.
But I think a lot of people like fall.
Yeah. And I used to be a guy that said spring to be different, but I this last fall kind of came around to fall and just was like, you know what? Stop beating around the bush. It's fall. It's a great season.
Now, in Florida, I like winter because it's a normal temperature.
Right. I was gonna say, like, yeah, if you're in Florida or California, like, winter might be the best. That's your fall.
It's sunny and 76 degrees here right now.
Yeah. Like, determine my favorite seasons based on, like, if I can wear. Oh
That's
my God.
the
That's
forecast.
perfect.
It's
That's a
literally,
perfect day. Wow.
Every day it's sunny and like between 64 and 77.
I'm so jealous. It's like 20 degrees out here. It sucks.
Yeah, which would be great if it was Celsius, but we're talking
Yes,
Fahrenheit.
We're talking Fahrenheit.
Which is a good thing, because if we were talking Celsius and it was 76 degrees here, I would be dead.
Be dead. Yeah. So that's I would say fall, and you would you say winter in Florida?
In Florida.
Yeah.
Not in Chicago.
Damn.
And when I lived in Chicago, I liked spring because it meant that you had a long time before it was winter again.
Yep. That's it. That's the answer. Which is why that is how I will defend spring all the time. Is that exact argument?
That's the problem with fall is it's nice while it's happening, but you
Yep.
have like this impending doom sensation.
Yep. It's coming at you. This is a really funny question. Well, it's not funny, but it's a good question. This one comes from Bloom SD, and it's if you could eat any endangered species without any ethical repercussions or affecting the population, what would you try? I would try giant panda because I think it would be fatty and marbled like a piece of Wagyu steak.
Huh.
Did I pronounce Is it Wagyu? Wagyu?
I think it's Wagyu, but I'm not
Okay.
confident enough to critique.
Just to be like, I would eat a panda, like if I could, but there's no way I can get away with that.
Yeah, endangered species.
Giraffes, because they can't say shit about it. I'm not. I am a. My mom is a PETA. Well, I'm not gonna say that. I've been a vegetarian before. I love animals. I would not actually eat a giraffe, but you know.
By you love animals, you mean you love eating them.
Yeah, I love animals. You know, love
They taste
eating
great.
them. They taste great. They're good for you. Yeah.
This is a difficult question because I've never
Yeah.
thought of it.
Yeah, I've never thought of this either. This is a first for me. There are some animals where I'm like, what would that taste like, though?
Like narwhal?
I guess the thing about I'm leaving out most like fish and anything in the ocean because I'm just like I'm not a big seafood guy. So
I'm not either, which has been a real problem growing up in Florida.
yeah. I feel like rhino might taste insane. And that's like one of the ones you do not. There's a lot of ethical repercussions there. So if there were none, if I had to, if like we needed to get rid of a bad rhino,
Yeah.
I would eat it to, just see what it's like. Just give it a chance.
If it was a bad rhino.
If he was like going around, I would eat like King Kong, see what that tastes like. We got to get rid of that monkey.
Okay.
Wait. Oh, wait. Wait, no, not King Kong. I meant to say Godzilla, right?
Yeah, I was like, eating a primate's a little sketch.
No, not King Kong. We'll do Godzilla.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything from you or
No, I'm not.
You're just gonna avoid-
I wouldn't eat it. Yeah, I'm not going to answer this. It's kind of weird, all the things you said you would eat, though.
Well, the question was if there were no ethical repercussions,
I mean, yeah, I still wouldn't
you wouldn't
do it.
But if you're curious, All right.
Ooh.
This next one. Actually, that's it for questions. That's the last question. That's it.
Yep.
Let's see. This last part is the wrap up, where we like to read a review from people because we love hearing what you guys have to say. This one comes from Sween the Bean. Actually, before we do wrap up, we have to announce the next week's movie. I forgot that's the first part. Which next week we'll do. Do you have any ideas, Jeff?
No.
For next week? Okay. All right. Damn. Actually, I have a fun one that
The Swimmers?
well, the Swimmers is out on Netflix. I just saw that, but I was gonna ask if you would want to do The Menu.
Where is that available?
It's, I believe, a theater movie, but it's a full wide release, so I'm assuming it's playing somewhere near you.
All right, well, if there's somewhere near me, let's do that.
Okay, and if not,
And if not, then we'll change it.
we'll figure something out. Yeah,
We'll do The Swimmers.
and then the Swimmers. But I think that's like the biggest, the big one this week.
That's the big one.
That's the big one. Yeah,
All right, that sounds good.
we'll do The Menu next week. This next part is the
That's
review.
what's on the menu.
That's what's on the menu. Yeah. And this one comes from Sween the Bean. Subject line, nice one, dudes. 5 stars. And it reads, I love the podcast. Normally listen to it working on my assignments. And today, when I was listening, the guys came into the room holding pies. I thought this was really funny, as I thought they would shove them into my face. But Carson pulled his trousers down and pooped on my desk while Jeff began to cook spaghetti. Really cool time and a great metaphor for capitalism. 10 out of 10 would recommend to a subject of my villainous tyranny. And this comes from Ireland, by the way. It started off pretty nice, that review.
Did you read that before you?
No, I didn't.
Because that really took a weird direction.
Took a weird turn. You can't help what the viewers are saying, you know?
You can't. I mean, it was 5 stars, though, right?
Listen to the people. That was a 5-star review, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Then
So, thank you,
all
Sween the
good.
Bean, for the lovely words.
yeah, I'm sorry about Karsten defecating.
I would never do that. And I would also never
Well-
eat an endangered species, for the record. I would never do
I mean,
it.
you sounded pretty keen on it a few minutes
I'm
ago.
just saying, hypothetically, if it had to happen.
It didn't have to happen.
It's gonna get me canceled. This last part is thanking the patrons over at patreon.com/Karstcast. The lovely people that want to give this show money. If they want to see us do better.
They love us. They are what paid for some of our audio equipment.
Yes.
My webcam that's improved. My microphone that I talk into like this.
Yes. Nice ASMR content can be brought to you by the patrons.
Karsten Runquist.
Thank you. Should I read the names in ASMR or no? Probably not. That
Probably not.
bit gets
honestly.
old after a while.
Yeah, like if it was like if we only had 3 patrons, that would be funny.
Then
But since we
definitely.
have so many, because
So many
we're
lovely
very well
patrons.
supported by all of the great patrons,
Yes.
I would say read them normally.
Okay.
And here they are.
Thank you, Alex, Thomas, Anson Contreras, Big Beard Pirate, Boinks, Camilla, Coop, David Borslow, David Sir, Eden, Finn Richardson, Jacob Meyer, Jared Armstrong, John Van Hoot, Katie T, Leonard. Let's change the Google search results for PTA. Levin, Jar Jar is the best Star Wars character. Luke War, Maddie Robertson, Martin Deff, Mary Lee Borslow, Michael Rennie, Monroe Page, Noah Wooten, Pasta, Queen of Staten Island, Rakakuni, Ryan M, Sam Farr, Sean Kinney needs to see Carson's USC short film. No, you don't. Stella Perry, Super Kathy Fraudulous, XBL, Adosha Smitty Worman, Jagerman Jensen, Taylor's Virgin, the Raccoon from Airborne 7th Inning Fetch, Wes Kinley, Wiley Todd, and Zoe Hernandez McDonald.
Now, Carson's USC short film is probably the greatest piece of cinema verite in the history of the world.
I sent Jeff just the one part of it. I didn't even send you the full thing because it's too embarrassing, to be honest. I couldn't.
It's phenomenal.
I
Release it when you get to 1 million YouTube subscribers.
I just missed the 600,000. I should have done it then. That's
You're
about
like, oh man,
yeah.
that's the only time I could have done it.
Yeah, so thank you for the kind words, and I don't think maybe someday I'll put that short film out, but it is pretty damn
It's great.
embarrassing.
Like it's up there with your best work.
Thank you, Jeff. And that's the episode.
That's the podcast. I mean, again, I had a good time with you, Karsten, hanging out. Just giving each other some jabs.
As always, it was a great time with you too, Jeff. I really learned a lot about myself this podcast.
Yeah, I mean, I learned a lot about you too. I mean, I wish I didn't know how eager you were to eat endangered
I'm not
species.
eager to, but the question. I had to answer the question.
Catch you on the flip side.
Catch you on the flip side.
Flip side.